Alright, we're recording. I'm between pages. I'm back to Corbeau for a second. I did my homework. First of all, I did it. I did it again. I did it a third time. I think I'm on a fourth time doing this first page. But I like how it is. Is it this one? No, it's not this one. Which one did I just do? This one. Okay. One of the quick changes I did is I changed this guy to having these sort of handguns. And this character takes up much more space in the panel. That panel has been completely redrawn. This character is way bigger. Like, we made some changes here. We made some changes. I was looking at something else one of the other students turned in, and I thought it was a cool panel. And then I realized that I recognized the shot. It's a photo. It's not even an obscure one. It's from the first page of Google image search of guy getting thrown out of window. If you look on TV tropes, something called defenestration something, it's that picture, and I was like, oh, that's why I recognize that picture. So I don't know, I have so many complicated feelings on tracing. I don't think it's the worst, most evil thing in the world, but I do think that it can be overused and it doesn't always look good, and if you can't make it look good, you shouldn't do it. You know, try and make it look good. Don't just do it as a time saver because you don't want to tackle the problem. I think there's also a big trap involved in recent trends in comics. One of those things is the idea that everything has to look credibly realistic. And I know I've said this many times. If you believe in this, then you're naturally going to gravitate towards tracing and getting SketchUp models and 3D models. And I know I've harped on this many times, and I just keep saying it. I know it's boring probably at this point. But here's the trap. You do it because you can't draw something, right? You hit a wall, some kind of tough pose or panel, or something's happening in the story that then you find, okay, well, there's something I could just grab that and trace it. And the more you do it, the more that defines the look of the comic. And so pretty soon, after a while, you're unwilling to draw because you don't want it to look out of place with the rest of the stuff, right? You want it to all match up, and it's like, okay, I could draw that car, I could draw a car, but it won't look like a realistic car I could just grab off of a photo in Lightbox, you know. So maybe I won't draw the car. And to me, it's so self-defeating. It's okay to draw a wonky car. Let me show you a messed up looking car that I drew. Not on this page, but on my homework. That's how brave I am. Okay, here's the page I turned in, and here's the car that I turned in. And if you look closely at this car, do you notice anything wrong with it? It's messed up. Yeah, it's like it's got like a third window here. Maybe I wasn't thinking this thing through completely, and it's very. I mean, it's some kind of hatchback. It's some kind of hatchback. If you look at, let me show you the. Are all my layers on here? I'm not even sure the layers are on here. Yeah, if you look at my layers, my pencil layer especially. Is that on there? This is my pencil layer. Oh, could it be the bubbles layer? This layer? That layer? That layer. You can see that's about as far as I went on the car originally. But you know, you barely even notice it when you go by, and it doesn't matter that much because the car is not that important to the storyline. The fact that it's there lends credence to the idea that it's a street. Other than that, you just forget about it. And I think that's true of most comics. Now I want to follow this up with another data point, or I don't know if it's a data point, it's more of an anecdote. Just today, just 5 minutes ago, I was on the Gilded server, and somebody, shout out to Dan Razzle, said, none of my friends are into comics. Not a one. And I don't blame him. The friends. What did he? I'll actually see. What did he say? Not a single one of my friends in the real world is into comics. Not a one. Just thought I'd mention that. And why would they be? The reason people get into comics is because they're naturally drawn to stories with pictures, right? That are fun, exciting, or funny. If you're doing something else that isn't fun, exciting, if it doesn't slot into those things, it's, you know, one of those cards you get in the airplane that shows you where the pull down air mask is. That's a comic, but nobody would read that unless they had absolutely nothing else to read. It's got to be fun, funny, or exciting. So, and exciting covers all the horror comics and all the other stuff. What we've really recently got into is the kind of slice of life world, which is supposed to fall under some degree of fun, some definition of fun, but I don't know if it actually does anymore because everyone's kind of chasing the same thing. Now, I know these are controversial and possibly offensive opinions, and that's all they are, is opinions, so nobody should be too annoyed with me, I hope. I'm on my page 11. This is going to be roughs for Corbeau. It's a 4-panel page I have planned out. I got a wide shot, a medium shot, a close-up, and a medium shot. Here's my wide shot. This is Corbeau. Okay, if you remember where we are in the story, let me go over what we're trying to accomplish. He's here in the little prison system thing here, and he just discovered the secret plan of the apes. Oops. Where they basically explained it to him. We're going to do an inset, maybe just a narration box that says, you know, later after all the guards are gone. Maybe he's looking out. You can see him looking away, I'm kind of doing a hand right there. And it'll say something up here like, after all the guards are gone. And we'll be able to see his thoughts. And he'll say something like, I don't know, he's got to be looking, he's maybe something like, I have to get out of here, or, you know, I'm not even sure what the dialogue's going to be. And then my medium shot is he's looking at the lock and he decides that he can figure out a way to pick the lock. And we're going to do that as a medium shot. So maybe he's... I mean, we're going to have to do some perspective, but he's down here looking at it. Now, a little bit of a story point is that all these laboratories and facilities, even though the super futuristic ones, are from these sort of evil World War II guys that are technically in the future for Corbeau. He's pre World War II. He's actually in the period, from the period in between the wars. And then we're going to show him looking in his pockets and finding a piece of wire. And that's kind of a waist, from the waist up. I don't know. I'm not sure, 100% sure about that one. It's okay to not be 100% sure about your shots either, that you're gonna, you can always change them. But you gotta get something down. You've got to mar the page. Splash something on the page before you get anywhere. If you don't do anything, if you just, you're going to have the analysis paralysis situation, where you spend so much time thinking about what you could do that you don't do anything. Completely shut you down if you're not careful. So put something on, even if you have to revise it later. So, noticing that they're gone, he said he's determined to get out. He looks at the lock. Maybe he's taking his glove off and he's kind of poking at it with his finger. And he finds a couple of pieces of wire. He's an aviator. He might have some wire on him. I'm sure that they took any technology stuff, but he could have some secret wire. One of the big weaknesses of Ape Legion is that they don't believe humans are as evolved as they are, of course. So they would never believe that he could actually, like, pick the lock and get out. And then what's my panel for? I might do 4 and 5. If I do 4 and 5. Leaving it this big is... So, over here I'm thinking more of like one of those, what is it, Skyrim, where you pick the lock? You know, it shows the lock picks going in. And I know not a lot, but a little bit about picking locks. And I know that basically you're using the tensioner spring to push the whole lock column to one direction, and you're using the other pin, lockpick, to push the tumblers up, and then the tension of the column moving keeps them locked up until you get to the shape of the key or whatever it is that you're using. So, and I haven't drawn very good wires here, but maybe I've gone too big. That's another thing that can happen. I'm thinking it's like, I might actually have to, does that look about right? My thumb. How about like this? And then this finger's like right here. I'm literally just thinking of that one, that one sequence that you do in Skyrim where you're trying to pick the lock. How is this one? Maybe this is the thumb, right? And then something like that. And then well, he's got goggles on, so we can't see that. We're gonna do this one, and it's gonna show the tension on his face, and it'll be kind of like an upshot and like an extreme shadow shot where you can see the light will be coming this direction. So you'll see it'll front lit, the shadows around the back. Like a lot of hatching on the face. Something like that. But now when you have a layout of a page like this, and for any page that you do in your comic, for every page you should probably look at it and say, okay, how many figures do I have at the same size? And I've got this guy and this guy are close to the same size, so I think what I better do with him is make him smaller. And you know what I might do with him? We might even make this a down shot. And this is a cheesy way to do it, but I'm going to just use the distort, and we're going to... I made his head too big. Bring it all back. Come on, uniform. And I might even do a... This might not be the right panel to do it on. But you want to do like a dramatic Eisner Venetian blinds shot in the inking. Like the bars are a perfect opportunity to do that. So you don't actually show the bars, you're just going to show the shadow of them. You know? And the bars won't be behind him, it'll be just a wall. So it's like we're looking at him and we're seeing the shadow of the bars on him. And also I should also point out that I'm not 100% sure I can pull that off. But I'm going to give it a shot. I've made the attempt before. This might be one of those situations where I have to grab some photo reference. I'm trying to think of a movie where I'd seen it done really well. Maybe something like Suddenly Last Summer. Which is the one with Montgomery Clift where he accidentally kills the rich girl and spends... I think that's Suddenly Last Summer. Might be another one. No, he didn't kill the rich girl. He's... Okay, I remember what it was. He's accidentally gotten the poor girl pregnant and he ends up with the rich girl, but then they figure out that he's killed her. But it was an accident, but they didn't seem like an accident. And he ends up in the pokey. Maybe he says something like, a couple of pieces of wire, it'll have to do. And then... How many people watching this have ever had your car, locked your keys in your car at an inopportune time and then had to pick the lock to get them out? Where you have to like go in through the window or something like that. I've had to do that myself. So I'm not 100% sure this is going to go good. What we're seeing behind him is actually the shadow. The rest of the shadows. And then, so which would imply that his shadow is also behind him. Now you might be asking, why not just have Aura rescue him? That's an option, but it's not an option I want to use. It is his comic. He shouldn't have to wait till he's rescued in every scene. Even though he's definitely outnumbered. Yeah, see, when you put the shadow behind him, it actually kind of makes more sense. what's going on with these shadows and the bars. And so we'll see the other shadows back here. I think it might actually work. Right? So something like that, and then we're going to get in like so close on this close-up shot that you can actually see his eyes. You can see a little bit of his concentration. I'm getting a little bit better at the faces. I'm not good yet, but I'm getting better. Alright. And maybe this whole piece just drops down here. Like he's obviously looking at what he's trying to, he's concentrating on what he's trying to accomplish. Yeah, I think we have a good lockpicking sequence here. So standing at the inside the bars, we might even show Cersei leaving. Think it over, Corbeau. Walking out the door. Might have, maybe he's leaving. I think you come down, because remember we're seeing him from behind as he's leaving. Remember, these are chimpanzee people, so he has that chimpanzee form. I made him a bit too big, I think, too. Oops. Don't hate on my roughs too much. They are roughs. Right? So yeah, first scene, he's watching the guy go. Second scene, he has the idea to look at the bar, and in this one, we're not seeing the shadow. We're seeing the actual bar, right? Because we're gonna have his hand on this bar. And he's determined to figure out how to do it. I might make this a lot smaller. And if his chin is here, neck is here, I don't know, we might make this smaller. We're trying to create a system of continuous refinement where we're going to continuously refine what's going on in the image, hopefully not messing it up. Then we do our dramatic scene where he realizes he's got a couple of pieces of wire. Then the lockpick scene, which is gonna have a little voiceover here. And then we have our look of concentration, where he's going to say something like, almost got it. And I think he should break out at the exact moment that Aura arrives. So it's like we show that he's saved himself, but now he's reunited, and we got everybody back together. And we do the escape sequence, but they're going to leave some kind of... They've got to leave some kind of bomb or somehow sabotage the Ape Legion's efforts as well. So I don't know what that's going to be yet. Alright. Well, it's a beginning, so apologize for my super rough roughs. Far more rough than I turned in for the Qbert class. But it is what it is. Please don't take offense at my offensive opinions on comics. We haven't had good comics in 30 years. I think the takeaway, if you're offended by this, takeaway is that I really do believe that, and if you don't believe it, that's fine, but I really, for me, that's what the case has been. And with a few exceptions. There's a few exceptions. Giffen's Hordak is one exception. Alright, anyways. Alright. Please like, follow, and subscribe, and I will see you later.